All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Whoa, sorry. That's a lot. Back up. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the February show of, no, kidding, not February. Sure does feel like that, so appreciate everybody making the effort. I do want to welcome back Bob Ike. You know, he missed a couple of shows, so you missed the one where Coach Carlsen wasn't here, so I'm glad you're here. Again, thanks to Northwestern Medicine, who we normally have a backdrop here, which I know we'll get there next time. They do help us coordinate this effort. Everyone got hopefully some new mugs, so that will be great. I do want to say a little bit about, I know Coach will talk about it a little bit, but they had a little difficult time getting back to DeKalb, so I appreciate the effort to get back for this event. I didn't want to have another coffee without Carlsen, so I'm very thankful for that. Although I did have someone going to pinch hit for her, so we were ready. So last week we spent some time on Huskies Invest, so it was a week of giving for us, so thank you to all who gave last week. Volleyball's still going. I believe they have their last game on Thursday night, so if you're around. Cross country, I don't know if you saw, we had a huge snowstorm on Halloween, and then 3 days later we hosted the cross country championship. We actually had the number one runner, Ashley Tutt, came across the finish line first. It was really super cool. And we finished second by 2 points. So that's really great for our cross country program. I want to talk a little bit about Husky Bingo. Are you guys playing Husky Bingo? Raise your hand if you're playing Husky Bingo. I mean, I'm playing Husky Bingo. Okay. All right. So Jake in there. Jake, raise your hand. Jake's the mastermind of Husky Bingo. I'm playing. I actually play during the game. So if you see me at the table, that's what I'm doing instead of watching the game. So the exhibition, there were a lot of squares that got marked off. Harvard, we actually had 6. So if you're playing, Jake's your man. There's more cards there. If you'd like to redeem any of your cards, you may. We talked, I think Coach sent out an email about this, so if you get a bingo, you get locker room access pregame. 4 corners is courtside, and then blackout is honorary coach. So please play. It's super fun. I want to talk a little bit about the trip to Milwaukee. I know a number of you all are signed up for it, so I have the list right here. I'm going to put it at that front table back before we leave. If you think you're going, just make sure you're on the list. Quinn does a great job of making sure that we've got everybody locked in. But just to re-verify, we got everybody. That's the 5th of December. We likely will leave around 3:30, 3 o'clock. We'll send out an email finalizing all those details. You get to travel with me and a couple of other of our friends. We'll go to the game. We'll eat it beforehand in Milwaukee, and then we will come back. And first we got to beat Milwaukee, and then we'll come back to DeKalb. So I will leave this up front. Just make sure you're on this list before you leave today, because we don't meet again until after that game. So again, super thankful that you all are here. Super thankful that our Coffee with Carlsen is here. And without further ado, I'll bring her up, and she can tell us all about what's going on with women's basketball.
Good morning, everyone. You know, usually I'll stand up here and tell you how happy I am to be here, but this morning it adds a little bit different dynamic to that, since I wasn't able to be here the last time we had coffee with Carlsen. Before that, I want to start with thanking the head coaches that are here. We're going to get an opportunity to hear from Eric with women's tennis and Kim with golf, and our faithful head softball coach is here, Coach Sutt. You know, she is here all the time, but I am even more thankful for her this morning, as she was wonderful in helping shovel out some cars in the parking lot for us to get home last night. So I'm going to owe her a lot of hugs. You know, I say it's great to be here, and as you guys have all alluded to, the last time we had coffee with Carlsen, I wasn't. I had the pleasure of serving on jury duty for the very first time. And I'll tell you a little bit about that, because my anticipation was that I was going to go to Rockford on a Monday morning, and with 30 of my closest friends, most of us get a chance to go home, right? That's what you thought would happen. That's what I thought would happen. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because of the experience, by Monday afternoon, I was one of 9 jurors on a jury that lasted 3 weeks. So they started opening statements that afternoon and said, "Thank you for making this work." Even though I told them multiple times I thought this would be very difficult, they didn't seem to care. I have a great staff and I have a great group of players, and it was an interesting 3 weeks to say the least, because we either practiced at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. since I was in the courtroom from 8:30 to 4:30 most days of the week. But we got through it, and it was quite an experience, so I'm excited to be here. The other reason I'm really excited to be here is because I could also be sitting in an airport, which we've been doing a lot of. We played at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. What is today? Tuesday. We were supposed to fly out that night. Something happened to the plane. A piece fell off, so we're also thankful that didn't happen, and we didn't try and fly without probably a pretty vital piece. They thought they could get us back out Sunday night later, but apparently that wasn't going to happen. And then, as we see, the snow hit. And those of you who are flying in and out of O'Hare anytime know that when the snow hits, sometimes that gets difficult as well. So after 5 delays, we decided, and my wonderful administrator approved us trying to find a bus at about 6 o'clock last night to get home so that we could be here for coffee with Carlsen, and our kids could find their own bed. So it was an adventure, to say the least. So with all of that being said, I'm very happy to be here, very happy not to be in a courtroom, and very happy not to be in an airport. We've done quite a few cool things in the last month or so since we've gotten together, or since the last coffee with Carlsen. Bill does such a great job, and he's such a huge supporter of the program. We spent a Sunday morning where the players would come in shifts and serve coffee at Lincoln Inn. The place was packed for a lot of that time, and so it's a great opportunity for us to just mingle a little bit. I didn't hear any stories of anybody spilling coffee on anybody, so that's a good thing. But really some FaceTime with our fans that come through on Sunday at Lincoln Inn. So thanks, Bill, for that opportunity. I know the kids really enjoy it. Many of you are at our tip-off event, which again is held at Eduardo's, and that's really the kickoff to great energy surrounding Husky basketball. So that's always one of my favorites. Again, it's an opportunity to talk a little bit about the team and the expectations of the season. Also, any of you who follow us, we always have it on Halloween, our annual Halloween practice. So if any of you saw that picture, you saw all of the players and staff in costume, which is always a fun event. My costume this year, unfortunately, was not one that I could wear, excuse me, all day long. It was great for the picture. But did anybody see that picture? No? You have to pull it up sometime. I'll let you guess and see which one I was. Tomorrow's early signing day. Now, I don't get an opportunity to tell you about the 2 kids that we're signing tomorrow, but I can tell you that they're great fits, and we're really excited about the 2 young ladies that we'll be bringing to the program. So I'll get an opportunity to talk a little bit more about them the next time when the paperwork actually comes through and compliance won't yell at me because I've said too much. I mentioned the tip-off and a couple of other events leading up to the season. I always know when the season's getting close because I get an opportunity to talk in front of different groups of people about what this season is supposed to look like. A little bit different. The expectation of this team is probably at an all-time high since I've been here, and for a great reason. We return a majority of our roster, and getting Courtney back, and everybody wants to talk about that, and I think that's great. It's not something we're going to shy away from. It's not something that we're going to not embrace, but we started the year in the top 20 in the mid-major poll. We were picked second in the West in the MAC behind Central. And so not only does everybody in this group believe, and everybody in the locker room believe, that this team has a chance to be really good, but there's a lot of outside people that believe that we have a chance to be pretty good as well. So that's kind of fun. Our schedule reflects that. We put together a schedule that is going to be extremely challenging. We think that it's going to be vital for us to prepare to play at a really high level come MAC time. And again, we're going to have that opportunity, and I think we're going to be able to grow game by game because of it. A little bit about the injury report, because I always think if you're going to come to Coffee with Carlsen, that means you get the inside scoop. Many of you know that we'll be without Erin this season. She had knee surgery. Everything went great. Her rehab so far is going great, so we anticipate a full recovery there, but obviously it won't be for this season. And then this weekend, we actually had to play up at North Dakota State without Allie and without Grace. Both that we anticipate will be back this weekend, but both with fairly severe ankle sprains. So, one of my favorite quotes, and my staff knows this, and I actually said this to the players the other day, one of my favorite quotes is, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, but it's learning how to dance in the rain. And there's a couple of different times that I've thought about that, especially in the last couple of weeks. Some of it, dancing, has been come to fruition. Again, if any of you follow us on social media, we passed the time in the airport with some TikTok dancing, which Adam, I think, was the topic of discussion on a lot of those social media posts. But this team understands how to deal with a little bit of adversity. It's not something that's new to them, and I think the time that we spent, again, the last 24 hours in the airport really shows me how tight this group is. If you have to spend that amount of time in a situation that you don't want to be in, it's great when you can do it with people you care most about. They handled it great. They understand that there's things that you can control and things that you can't control. And that's what I've really always loved about this group. It's great to see Courtney and John A. back on the floor. It's been a while since we've seen them in uniform. It's really been a while since we've seen John A. So anytime I see them on the floor, it kind of puts a smile on my face because they're back to doing what they love. We started the season off with Harvard in Education Day with about 1,600 people in the gym, which was awesome. The noise, the energy, everything that goes with it. And we knew Harvard was going to challenge us right away. What I didn't think would happen is that this team would struggle to stick the ball in the basket the way we did. But again, that's why you play the game. What I was really happy about is that we didn't necessarily fold in the second half. I thought we did some nice things defensively in the second half, especially. I thought we did some really nice things on the glass, and we gave ourselves a shot down the stretch. And I think if you're going to take away things that you can learn, it's those things that you're going to take away and be able to point out. Obviously, we were able to break down the film and show some things that we need to get better at, and that will continue. But if you're going to take away positives, that opportunity to give ourselves a shot in the fourth quarter when things really hadn't been going very well throughout the entire game is definitely a plus. Harvard made it to the second round of the WNIT last year. They were picked third in the Ivy, and so they're a team that's going to continue to win a lot of ball games. Do I think we are good enough to beat them? Absolutely. And so that was disappointing. But all things said, I think it's a great lesson for us. Courtney ended up with 22 that night, which again is a great way for her to start off. And we go 16 of 18 from the foul line and only commit 13 turnovers. So from a stat standpoint, there was some good things that came out of that as well. Then we got the opportunity to get back on the practice floor, which is great, and then head to Fargo on Saturday and play against a North Dakota State team that has a new coach who has come from the Division II ranks. He's had a lot of success, and he's really got that team playing well. A lot of familiar faces. We did have an opportunity to play them here at home last year, but I knew it was going to be a much different ball game. I mentioned that we were down a couple of players, and so our rotations were going to look a little bit different. And again, it definitely wasn't easy. If any of you listened to the game, I know Andy said this multiple times. The only lead that we had was in overtime. But if we look at the resiliency of this team, it was very similar to Harvard. We played our best basketball in the fourth quarter. We did a great job of getting to and finishing things at the foul line to give ourselves an opportunity. And then situationally, something that we work on every day in practice, and the new rule that came into effect a couple of years ago, when you can advance the ball, our kids are very comfortable in that situation. Adam does a great job of putting them in position late in games to be successful, and our execution was really good. I think we had about 7 seconds left, drew something up. We knew we'd have Gabby in an isolation situation, And she was ready to take that shot. It laid on the rim for a little bit, but finally fell through. And I felt really good that we had gotten ourselves to a position to go into overtime. And you could tell that the kids had a little bit of a sigh of relief, knowing that, again, they had played their best basketball in that game at that point. And then did some good things in the overtime. We had 4 kids in double figures, which again is going to be a goal of ours throughout the season. I think we have a lot of weapons on the floor. I think we have a lot of players who are comfortable scoring the basketball in different ways. Courtney again led us with 20. Gabby ended up with 18, Riley with 13, and Abby with 10. So I think the more balanced we can be in the scoring column, the better off we're going to be. And especially being able to hopefully go anywhere from 8 to 10 deep this season when we have all of our able bodies in uniform. We're 2 games in. We're not playing our best basketball. There's no doubt about it. And I think this team would tell you that. I know we as a staff talk a lot about things that we have to continue to tweak and get better at. But the big picture stays in focus on what we're trying to accomplish. You know, we're going to go to Colorado State this weekend. Again, a really good program that has had some recent success. And they're going to challenge us in different ways. We're going to play a lot of basketball between the time that we are together this morning and the time that we come back together in December. And all of those teams are going to challenge us in different ways. And that, again, is all looking forward to what is it going to be like when we have to play the MAC teams that we know a lot more about, and how are all those different styles of play going to help us in preparation for that. We are going to travel a little bit closer, so even though we're not going to be at home until December 19th and 20th, we're going to go to Illinois State, we're going to go to Milwaukee. Deborah's already talked about the bus that's going to go to Milwaukee. We are going to also play at Purdue, so all of those, if you're looking for a very short place to travel to come watch us play, are options. And then if you're looking for a real getaway, which obviously we hope there's not snow on the ground, Thanksgiving weekend we're going to go to Vegas and play 2 teams there that, again, were postseason teams last year that will be great challenges for us. Speaking of our next home games, I think on the tables you will see it talks about the Compass Challenge. One thing that we think that would be kind of cool is if we have a few people who would want to be team hosts for our friends from the state of Illinois, Western, Southern, and Eastern. And basically just be a friendly face for them if they're looking for the best place to go eat, or they're not sure how to get, to the training room or whatever. If any of you are interested in that, you can look at really what those times are for that event and whether that would fit into your schedule. We started off that event last year at Southern, and they did a tremendous job of really making it not just a nice tournament feel, but a very hometown feel. And we would like to do the same thing, obviously, here in DeKalb. With that, I will open it up to questions if anybody has any before I introduce our next guest.
The girl from DeKalb, how's she doing?
Asia. She's doing good. You know, the thing about Asia, and I think Asia is somebody who's going to have a tremendous career here. She got the opportunity to play at NDSU a little bit, especially since Allie wasn't able to go for us. But the great thing for Asia, she's going to get an opportunity to learn from 2 veterans that play her position. You know, Allie and Abby have been here for 4 and 5 years. They have a great understanding of what that position is like and what the expectation is. And not just on the court, but off the court as well. And so I think that's going to really help in Asia's development. She's very talented. She's driven. She loves being back home, all of those things. So I think big picture for her, it's going to be a great career.
I think she had 8 points in the Harvard game, didn't she?
Not the Harvard game. She, in the exhibition game, she played really well.
The Judson game.
Right.
The Judson
right.
game in the 4th quarter.
Yep. Anybody else? All right. Well, I'm going to introduce to you Allie Mae, who is a 5th-year senior forward for us from Heartland, Wisconsin, a nursing major and also a captain. You know, we put a lot of faith in our captains. Her and Abby were both chosen by the staff as well as the team this year, if you can emulate what you want your program to look like, it would be what Allie brings to the table every day. So we're excited to have her talk a little bit about the team and her journey. So come on up, Al.
Hi, everyone. Also really excited to be here. Not sure if I want to be at Fargo Airport anytime soon again. But as Coach mentioned, it was definitely a trip for the books. First time in 5 years having 4 or 5 delays. Also was really happy to see a bus. That hasn't happened. So I talked to Coffee with Carlsen, I think it was a couple years ago. I kind of talked about my journey before NIU, getting to NIU, and then the experiences that I had had thus far at NIU. So to be able to talk to you guys for the last time at the start of my 5th season is super awesome for me. I'm excited to be here. So when I started to think about what I wanted to talk about, I kind of started reflecting on all the pivotal lessons and experiences that I've had here at NIU so far. Aside from my faith, I was trying to think of the one thing that I never would have guessed would have had such an impact on my career. The one thing that I came into NIU knowing so little about. And the one thing that I've grown to value and hold above, honestly, most everything else that I've learned. And that one thing is culture. Coming into NIU, I knew of the concept of culture. I knew that successful teams needed to have a solid culture, but I always kind of associated the concept of culture with the word chemistry. My thought process coming in was kind of like, okay, if a team has a good chemistry, that means they have good culture. And throughout my years here, I've learned that that is definitely true. There is a correlation there, but the concept of culture encompasses so much more than I ever had known. So coming into NIU and having that novice foundation in culture, I'm very grateful to have coaches that are honestly experts in culture and know exactly what it takes to keep and build a winning culture. So I quickly learned that all I needed to do was to buy into what they were telling me every single day and listen to what they were teaching me. And I'm super happy that I did that. So now I stand here today, and when I think about the concept of culture, there's so many more things that come to my mind. I think of the significance of discipline and the small standards that we've built as a team. I think of our ultimate mission, and I think of our mission statement that's hanging in our locker room, and the mission statement that we recite together before every game. I think of the importance of accountability, specifically accountability, holding each other accountable to the standards that we set together. I think of persistence in building our habits on and off the court, and persistence in keeping and building our team identity. And I think of building real and lasting relationships. So these are just a ton of things that come together to build NIU women's basketball's culture. Coach Adam has always talked to me about, a line graph, relating it to culture and leadership. And if you think of a line graph and you see a line consistently going up, culture and leadership isn't always consistently going up. You're going to have decreases, you're going to have dips in it. And during those dips is when we learn the most about ourselves and about our culture, and that's when we can grow the most. So that's something that's really stuck with me and something that I've learned to be super true. Culture and leadership isn't always easy, but those building blocks that I'd mentioned, and the one that has the biggest impact on me and what makes it all worth it is relationships. Building those strong and genuine relationships. The relationships are what I'm going to remember and hold with me forever, and they're definitely what make up the ultimate foundation of our culture. So I'm super thankful that I came to NIU with little knowledge about culture, because now I can stand up here today and I can think about all that I have learned and all that I value wholeheartedly now. So I'm super excited to continue to learn this year from my teammates and my coaches and help lead this team this year. And I'm also really excited to keep passing down the NIU women's basketball's culture and witness it get stronger every year. Thanks.
Well, and now you can see why I'm super excited that she leads our team. Our next guest is our women's golf coach, Kim Kester. It looks just like golf season outside, so that's fun. But I don't think that they play around here this time of year. So she's going to talk a little bit about our golf program in her 8th season. Kim Kester.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
future for basketball. Just don't put a trip around when I'm supposed to be here, because every year that I am scheduled to be here, there's always some type of weather thing. Last year, the university was closed. This year, you guys are stuck, so or move it to July. So one of the two. But yeah, it's not really golf weather. This is about the temperature though we had in Vegas a couple weeks ago. So hopefully, I know you guys are in the gym, but hopefully you get a little bit better than we do. But we have 2 seasons, so we have a fall and a spring. We just completed our fall segment about 2 weeks ago. We had 4 events, and we ended up finishing in Vegas. Out of the 4 events, 3 of the 4 we placed the team in the top 10, which was pretty decent for us. Not at the top of the leaderboard where we wanted to be, but we still were pretty competitive in the events. You hear a lot how golf is luck, a lot of luck. We got really, really lucky this summer. UMKC ended up canceling their golf program at the end of this year, and they had a player that was looking to transfer. So we got her to come in literally about 3 days before classes started. Got her admitted to the university, and she ends up winning the first event we played in. So, when everyone's like, golf is all about luck, I was like, yeah, we got really, really lucky. And I'm actually great friends with the UMKC coach. So, of course, during the whole event, she's messaging me. She's like, you can thank me now. You can thank me now. I was like, it's not over yet. Let me get through the round, and then I'll thank you. So, but Caroline Klemp is who won down at Illinois State. Her last round, she shot 69, which was 3 under par, and that's the lowest competitive tournament round she's ever had. So definitely started off the year extremely well there, and she's been one of our top players the entire fall. So look to build off of her success. We also had incoming freshman Jasmine Lee from Canada. She this summer placed top 16 in the U.S. Junior Girls, which is a very elite event for junior golfers. So added her to the mix on top of, a couple that we had with Lauren Engel coming back, who's averaging around 74. So she's shooting around 2 over par for the entire tournament. So overall, the lineup is looking great. We just have some things that we need to fine tune for the spring to be even better. We'll start out in Florida, down in Tampa area in February. From there, we'll go to Arizona. And then from there, we'll go to St. George, Utah, which is just north of Las Vegas, which is a new event for us, but we're very excited. We've been to the area before, and it's one of the most beautiful places on the west that I've been able to go to. So we're super excited. We'll end the MAC championship in April out at Silver Lake Country Club, which is near Akron area. Akron is the host. Right now, we're number 2 in the MAC. We're behind Kent State, that is ranked 6th in the country. So we have our work cut out for us, but in my 8 years, if there's any team that I think could upset Kent, it's the group that we have with us right now. So they bond really well together. They're just a lot of fun to be on the road with, and, similar to basketball, we get stuck in airports a lot. So that's what keeps everything fresh, is you get to hang out with a bunch of young kids and have a good time. So super excited for the year. Hopefully next time I come we'll be MAC champs. So is there any questions for me? Yes?
Where do you go in Arizona?
Rio Verde Country Club. It's in Rio Verde, Arizona, near Fountain Hills, Scottsdale, like 30 minutes from Scottsdale.
Yeah, okay. When is that?
That'll be February 22nd, right around there. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Or no, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, if you're out that way, come on out.
Kim, with the weather outside,
Yeah.
I know a couple of weeks ago your team applied the shoveling technique.
For
to
sure.
your training regimen.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing that again?
We'll be inside today. Right now, we'll try to give them some time off, kind of to recoup and keep their mind fresh. But yeah, we tell you, whatever we need, people need us to help, we're gonna help. And it was funny, Brad brings that up. We were doing a team bonding thing that day, and we get an email, hey, can you come help in the North 40 to, move some snow? So I text the girls, I'm like, hey guys, team bonding day anyways, what's another thing? Let's go. So we go out there, we move shovels, and then we go do some stuff out at Rich Harvest, and we go do an escape room. Okay, I don't know how many of you are familiar with an escape room, but you're locked in this room, and there's something you gotta find and you gotta escape. So we're like, all right, we're doing pretty good. We've done the shoveling, we've done a couple other activities. We get to the escape room, and everyone kind of goes their own ways trying to figure out all these clues. Well, our little freshman, Jasmine, who's about 5 foot, maybe with heels on. And you're in a room and there's a bathroom, but the bathroom's locked. The next thing I do is I look over and she's scaling the wall to get over to the bathroom. And she's like, the teammates told me to do it, and so they're like, come on, guys. Like, we maxed out that day, but it was just going on the team bonding stuff. It's always fun. But, yeah, if we need to shovel more snow, we'll do it. Anything else? Yeah, right? Sure, why not? Any more? All right, well, everybody have a great holiday. Next up is Eric Burns, the new women's tennis coach. He's in his first year. He came from Wright State, and he was there for 4 years, and we look forward to see your success here at NIU, so come on up.
Yeah, I appreciate you all having me here today. I'm really excited to be at NIU and working with this team. We've got a great group of ladies on the team this year. They're coming off a rough season. They were 5-15 a year ago, and we're just really trying to get back to basics and work on some things, some deficiencies in their games that they have, and try to make this a great season. And they're all working really hard for us right now, and I've had a lot of fun. They're just they're really fun to be around. They're always joking and having a good time. They brought me cookies on my birthday, so that was a big score for me. I mean, I love cookies, and they recognized that right away from some of the road trips we've had. But our fall season, we've got 2 seasons, kind of like golf. Our fall season is kind of a season where we work on our games. We play some individual tournaments, not really team type stuff. I mean, we're going with the team, but it's more individual results. They're playing in draws with other schools. And, we had a tough fall with a couple of the tournaments, but then we had some good results at a couple others. We had a nice win at our ITA Regional, which is it's basically kind of a qualifier for the fall national tournament. We had one team get a win over Notre Dame's seeded team in the first round, so that was a really big win for our girls. We had a nice win against Marquette there, had a nice win at Purdue against Purdue, and also with UConn. So my goal for the fall and really this year, I think, is to work with the girls, get their games in better shape, but also get them to believe a little bit more in themselves. And so we're trying to play a tough and challenging schedule, so they're getting opportunities against Power 5 type competition and getting those opportunities that they had in the fall and seeing that they can beat a team like Notre Dame or a team like Purdue and hoping that gives them confidence going forward as we move into MAC play and we continue on with our season. We're trying to play a really big schedule and give our kids lots of opportunities to get experience, which is desperately what we need. So, it's been a nice process, and we're in our off season now, trying to work on a few things, and then we'll get kicked off in January with Indiana University's winter invite. And typically in the spring, you're playing dual matches, head-to-head matches with other schools. But the Indiana invite's really nice. It kind of gives us a week to work the kinks out before we go into head-to-head matches, and so it's a really strong field down there with IU and DePaul and Marshall, some other great teams, and you get to play 4 rounds of doubles and a couple rounds of singles, and for us, we've had some injuries here in the fall. We've had 2 of our top 3 players out pretty much all fall, and so we really have no idea what our doubles teams will look like or what our team's going to look like here in the spring. We're hoping to get them back. So we're going to use that tournament at IU to kind of work on some doubles combinations, and you can kind of change some things around. So we're excited to get down there, hoping to get everyone back, and then we'll get kicked off on January 24th up at Rockford with Green Bay in our first dual match of the year. And we're still working on our dual schedule right now. I'm still trying to add a few more matches, which it's pretty late to do that, but I wanted to add a little bit more to the schedule. We only had 20 matches on there, and I like to typically play 27, 28 matches, get our kids lots of experience. So the team is kind of a nice diverse group. We've got 10 girls, two girls here locally from DeKalb and the Chicagoland area, and then we've got some girls kind of from all over the world, from places like Mexico and Germany and England, and tennis really is a kind of an international sport, so that's pretty typical for most women's tennis teams here, especially in the MAC. A lot of international players. So, but those girls, they come in, and it's always amazing to me. It's amazing how they can just speak a second language and really pick it up. And I'm thinking, if I went to their countries, I would. There's no way I could function like they do. So it's really impressive to me, and they're all great students. So yeah, I'm always just amazed by it, in all my years of coaching, just seeing those kids and how they handle the situations and being in a new country as they start their college careers. So yeah, I'm really excited once again to be here, and really looking forward to building this program up and getting it to the level that I think it should be at. And so I really appreciate you all having me out here today. And if you got any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. All right. Thanks a lot.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So appreciate everybody coming out again. I really do love the addition of other sport programs. I think everyone here does too. I was in Texas this weekend. I didn't go to North Dakota, thankfully. And we were talking about this event with some of my family members, and was sort of recapping what we do and how we do it. And super special, I think, that we continue to include and really honor and highlight our other women's sports programs. And I do appreciate our fan base really buying into that. So that's a really, really cool thing that we've been able to build here. So. All right, everyone's like, yeah, whatever, do this thing. All right, Allie, let's go. Give me my prizes, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get a little crying up here. All right. Okay, I think you pick them up. Yeah. All right, let's see. All right, first winner, 264460. 264460. Perfect. Price is right in the back. All right, next one. Oh, man, Allie. 264461. Yep, you guys walked in together. Come on, Allie. Oh, perfect. All right, ready? This is good. 264463. So whoever was two behind that. Early bird gets the worm. You can thank Allie for this. All right, 264457. Whew. Even earlier, 457. Bill McMahon, he paid for his own breakfast at his own place. He says, I want to get a thing. Good thing you won that one. Oh, that's great. Okay, last one. All right, this is a little better. 264477. 477. Did you get that one, Bob? No? 264477. Did you get it, Steve? There we go. All right, go get you a little thing back there.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so our next Coffee with Carlsen is December 10th. We are going to highlight someone really awesome, and I can't remember who it is right now. Who is going to come in? Sam Moriali, yes, thank you, Kim. It's on the thing there. That was embarrassing. Listen, yesterday was rough. I didn't have Coach Carlsen there to help me plan this thing. It was really complex. So I'm a little off. I mean, this is my notes. This isn't normally how it works. So yeah, December 10th. Hopefully we have a little better weather and a lot of games between now and then. So I'll see most of you all in Milwaukee. And if not, between now and then, let us know if we can help at all, okay? Thank you so much. Have a great day. Go Huskies.